If you feel like you're working hard but not actually moving forward, this video will explain exactly why and what you need to change. In this group call, we break down the real difference between those who are stuck at 5K a month and those who get to 10, 20, 50, if not more. And the craziest part, it has nothing to do with luck, talent, or intelligence, by the way. This self-conviction is exactly why guys like Josh were able to go and leave their 9-to-5 job within 30 days and go and make 15K a month consistently. Or Teddy, who went from failing at reselling to making over $45,000 in a single month. At 19, running sales teams making millions per month. So if you've ever felt unsure about whether you're actually on the right path, or confused about how to become that best version of yourself that finally succeeds, this private coaching call is for you. I'm not gonna lie. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I actually do want to go to the seaside in Bulgaria. It looks great.
They have crazy parties, bro. I just don't like people like that, so I don't go.
I don't know about Bulgarian house though. I don't know if that's my bread and
Bro,
butter.
at least for that, I can guarantee you we have the most beautiful girls.
Really?
Yeah.
What about like Croatia or Bosnia?
Or Sweden.
Like, in overall, most of the Balkan girls looks kind of the same. Like all of them are beautiful.
So you can't just generalize a bunch of countries to say yeah, but they look the same.
Oh, I can do it. Why not? When you see beautiful girls, you say it.
What do you think about Kai? Do you think Kai is beautiful?
Bro, look at him. He's such a cutie.
Man.
You're too kind,
That
Steph.
ass.
Not Steph, it's Fat.
Bro, so it's
And
I like that.
AirPods do. Damn.
all right, Kai, you running this call tonight or what?
Yeah, bro, fuck it, let's do it.
Also, after this call, I'm probably gonna go sit and watch a movie, eat a tub of Ben and Jerry's. I told myself I would do this after I finish 75 hard. If you guys want, I'm down to watch a movie together. We can chill in my bed, turn on a
Bro,
movie.
don't lie. You're going to smoke weed and get drunk.
Well, I'm not gonna smoke anything. I'm gonna eat Ben and Jerry's.
Are you
What
gonna get
movie
drunk?
you watch?
Did you say?
No, I'm not gonna get drunk.
No, don't lie, bro. We know what you're like now. You
No,
got down the
bro, I
dark
don't-
path.
No, I work. I play hard. Actually, I don't know if Ilya's in here, but I babysat this dude last night while he was out. Oh my gosh, that was.
Oh, you went out last night?
Yeah, they.
Bro. You are
It
cooked,
was.
bro.
I didn't drink. I didn't
Oh,
drink.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're such a scumbag, bro. No, I didn't
Ever
drink,
since you got that blonde hair, bro, you've changed.
bro. Oh my gosh, don't even play with me. Some
6K
guy
months
he
incoming.
was like, bro, you look like Marlon. I was like, I appreciate you, bro.
More like Eminem.
No, don't
Yeah.
worry, bro. You do not look like Marlon.
I appreciate you, bro. You're such a scumbag, Kai. All right, Kai's running this call today, guys. Screw this.
Yeah, bro, fuck it.
I run it. Teach us, bro.
Oh, shit, I left my whiteboard at home, bro.
Aren't
Actually,
you?
no, fuck it. Let's run it.
What are you gonna teach us about today?
You'll see now. You'll see now.
You know
Kai,
what's
how do
crazy?
you master your mind?
Oh,
What'd you say?
how do you master?
How do you master your mind, Kai? I need to know.
Right, boys. So it's all about like limiting beliefs and that kind of shit, you know? Like, let's take Val for example. Like,
Oh no.
bro has not mastered his mind, right? He's still succumbing to all these fucking
Ben and
limiting
Jerry's.
beliefs. Exactly, Ben and Jerry's and shit. Bro did not do 75 hard. He did not.
Yeah, failed on day one.
Bro didn't even do 3 hard.
Yeah, this is fire, bro.
For like 3 days soft.
3 days soft. You know my boy's doing 45 hard because he wants to drink when he goes home.
You know what? That's pretty good.
That's respectful. I can respect that.
Yeah, you can respect anything, Kai. Man. You are where you are.
It's
'cause
his
you're
work
standards. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Are you back in Ireland now, Val?
Yeah. Yeah. My little brother just popped into my room a few minutes right before this call. I'm back in the hood. But it's good to be back in the hood. But how was everyone here anyway? I got the bad boy Myro out. I need to just get a whiteboard behind me at all these calls. I think it'd be much cooler. But we'll get to that point. Bruno, how did you find coming to London?
Oh, it's so good, man. It's so good.
I told you, bro, exposure is important. What did you learn?
Bro, I spoke to Teddy about obviously like limiting beliefs and being like hella stagnant. Gave me a lot of value. I spent a lot of time with him. I slept with him. Pause. Which was good. Obviously, I spent time with you guys. George gave me a lot of sauce. But yeah, it was so good. So
If you were to make what you've learned in a few days, doing one of the highest leverage things you can do, which is just exposure, how would you package it so it'd be valuable for the people here?
say that again, sorry.
How would you kind of like package what you learned during that few days or so for the people here so they could get value from it too? What do you think is like the valuable stuff you learned?
Good question. One is, I think, one of the boys were telling me that I was speaking to. It was Jerome, actually. I don't know if you know Jerome. He was at the WeWork for one of the days.
Mhm.
He was saying to act like the person that you want to become. So if you want to become 100K per month person who's making that amount of money, you got to act like that person. You got to take action and act like that person every single day, and do the actual actions every single day. It's not about like tomorrow I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. It's about when you know you want to become a 100K type of person, you already know what that person is. You just have to like take action and just do what that person would already do. So what I've been noticing, what I've been doing is when I'm doing something, I'm thinking to myself, would my 2.0 version of myself be doing this? And if not, I just stop doing it. And it just gets me into the mindset of just thinking of that new 2.0 version of myself all the time.
Okay. That's good. So I was with somebody today for brunch, and this guy's doing consistently about 30K per month. He's been in this industry for maybe 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure if you guys know him, Jacob Lee. Very nice dude. But what I speak to him quite a lot about, because we discussed on the phone, actually the same day, Bruno, when we were at WeWork, I spoke to him for like 90 minutes. A big thing, as you guys know, and I think a lot of this goes over our head, but it is literally just self-belief. And that I'm going to actually use a quote I like quite a lot, which is, if you don't know what you're swimming towards, you are just trying to stay afloat. If you have this desire to get to this goal, I'm going to give you a great example. My boy right now, he's my hometown boy. He still lives in Ireland, and he doesn't know what he's doing with his physique, and he doesn't know what he's doing with his hair. He's in decent shape, but he's not trying to get leaner. He's not trying to bulk up. So when you do that, and now all of a sudden, it's not like you're trying to count your calories to like do anything. You're just trying to make sure you don't eat bad. And when you try to make sure you don't eat bad, even if you eat like good, you're probably going to eat like a 5 out of 7 days. And then 2 days you might eat bad. So now it's like you're just struggling to do the bare minimum, which what should be the bare minimum depending on your goals. So your standards are determined by your goals. And more so in a sense of his, like I said, his hair is physique, because he doesn't really know what he's working towards. Instead of him going upwards, he's kind of just like this. And as a byproduct, it's the same thing in the gym, right? So he doesn't know what he's training towards. It's just kind of like, in the long-term grand scheme of things, just stagnation, sexy stagnation, I'd even call it. It looks good, but then you just realize you've been on this up and down trend. And I'm actually going to challenge you guys to ask yourselves, if you look at your gym journey or something you've been trying to do for a minute and you had a lack of clarity of your goal, you've probably just been enduring this sexy stagnation. It looks like things are changing, but then you look back at 3 months and you're in the same position you were in 3 months ago. And it comes from a lack of clarity on where you're going. And I learned this from one of my mentors when he said, what do you want to do? He said, what do you want to do next year? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you want to do next year? And I was like, come on. I don't say, I was like, I didn't know. And I realized how easy it is for me to fall into the trap of sexy stagnation, just like you do at the gym, just like you do, for example, if you're trying to like, I don't know, look max, and you're just trying to like Vincent Smirkin, and you're just trying to like visually appeal yourself. If you don't know like what you're kind of going for, you're falling into this state of just, suffering and trying to not fall off, which it's a lot easier to go towards something and just progress than trying to not fall off, if you kind of get what I mean. I don't know, it's a weird thing to explain. But with Jacob Lee, because he's been in the industry for a couple of years now, he's gotten to a point where if, God forbid, things were to go south, he would have a backlog and you'd be able to be safe for, a couple months, couple years, and just be able to do nothing while he would try and build something. I don't want to say too much about his situation, but what I've learned, because a lot of it relates to me, because him and I have a very similar mind, is the big discrepancy between the guy doing 30 grand a month and the guy doing, for example, 100 grand a month, or sorry, let me even reiterate and say 5K a month and 25K a month, doesn't matter. It is self-conviction. And it's like, how do I now package self-conviction into a thing you guys can understand and make it more applicable for you? Because it's a very different situation. For me to explain it to a business coach, actually, let me just do this. If it's like the thing about what I just explained, if you don't know what you're swimming towards, you're just trying to stay afloat. It's the same exact thing. If you are a setter and I tell you just set until you're good enough so you can pivot into closing, you don't know what good enough looks like. So if you don't know what good enough looks like, you're always struggling to get self-conviction. Because if you go through the school system, for example, and I tell you to study, and I never tell you what your grade is, you're always just going to continue to do more tests and more study and all this thing, and you're never going to truly believe in yourself. I don't know if that was the greatest reference point, but more so, you need to have like these small levels of affirmations. You could call them micro wins if you want, but you just need to like be kind of certain that you can do it. And I'm going to use the weirdest example, but hey, if you don't like it, screw you. When I grew up, I had really, really low self-esteem with women. And then I had some really like crazy things happen to me as I grew up with women. Some weird things that you hear out of a movie. And I was like, wow. And as I got reference points, I started to realize actually like that's never going to be an issue again. I'm okay. And as I got reference points, I developed self-conviction. But a lot of you guys don't know what reference points are, or you do, but you don't see them. And it's like red cars. If you look for red cars, all you see is red cars. It's the same thing. It's like, how do you get conviction in yourself? When I got back into online money, my boy made me join the real world, Andrew Tate's thing. And as much as you guys may or love or hate Andrew Tate, some of the things he says is actually quite great. One of the things he says is, you will get blamed for things going south. You might as well take the credit if things go well. And the reason I like that so much is because if you are in that state of taking credit for, let's say you offer a service and all of a sudden the market did really well that month because market naturally does good in, let's say, December, you take the credit. It doesn't matter, take it. But more so when you train yourself to take that credit, you start to see things that you're actually doing as well. I genuinely don't believe I'm the hardest worker. But I changed my end of weeks into end of days so I could have more data over the span of the next few months, so I could be more hypercritical on how I can optimize my day-to-day. I know, peak autism. But in doing so, I looked at what I did today on a slow travel day, and I was like, holy guacamole. I operate better in 2 hours than people operate in a week. And it's just a standard thing for me at this point. And I didn't realize I do that much. But what I'm trying to say is you need reference points to have self-conviction. And if I could simplify it in the most layman terms possible, because I know it sounds like I'm talking to a B2B coach or something at this point, if you want to have more conviction in yourself and naturally just make it easier to transition and be the guy who goes from 5 to 25, or I don't know, 10 to 100 within a year, let's say, you just need to believe in yourself. Because this is actually such a great quote. I was ripping it at the event when I was speaking to a couple of people. A lot of us underestimate what it takes to get to where you want to go. If you're in the mentality of like, can I do this? Then you usually can't. If you're in the mentality of I've done this, 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 and this, and this, and this, how am I not already there? It's very different. Because here you've maybe tried 1 or 2 levers, whereas here you've tried 20. And because you've tried 20, you've maximized the probability of doing it, i.e. done enough, and you get it. You guys get what I mean? We underestimate how much it actually takes. And when we're in a position of how have I not already gotten it, you do as much as you can, and then as a byproduct, you just get it. It's like if you go to the gym and you hit 3 hard workouts, and then you're like, yo, why am I should I be jacked? Do I deserve to be jacked? But then you go consistently for 6 months and you eat great and you do this and you do this and you're like, how am I not already jacked? that's probably when you're already getting results because you've done as much as you can. Or maybe not as much, but you've done far more here than you would have here. Once again, not the greatest reference. But if you're in the mentality of how am I not already where I want to be because I'm doing everything right, and you actually are, and you're being honest with yourself, and you're pulling all these levers, you'll tend to realize we underestimate how much it actually takes. But the more important thing I'm trying to say here is self-conviction is the biggest thing that's going to push you forward. But for you to get that self-conviction, you need to have what I like to refer to as personal KPI. Call it like milestone dopamine bonuses. How do you know you're progressing? For me right now, it's like a couple different things. I posted this on my story, a picture of me in a suit 3 years ago, and a picture of me in a suit like the other day. And I was like, yo, that is crazy. Am I proud of myself? Truthfully, no. I have disgustingly high standards for myself, but it tells me I'm improving. Same thing with like physique pics. Like I'm like, okay, I'm improving. Same thing with business. We've been growing every quarter essentially. And I'm like, okay, so like I am actually growing. I am actually progressing. The team is better. The culture is better. This is better. That is better. But there's things I'm looking for and there's things I'm finding. Whereas for you guys, and I know that's like quite an overcomplication, but let's say you want to go from setting to closing. How do you develop that self-conviction? Because even George, the example of the guy who had 10K in a month with setting, and now he's going to very easily do 20, 30 with closing. Mark my words on this, because George is an animal. I've lived with George. He's locked. How is this so feasible? How is it so easy for him? Okay, 1, it's a good offer. 2, environmental growth. He's around people. So naturally, as a byproduct of being around people that are doing quite well, he starts to realize, hey, they're no better than I am. They're no better than I am. And I'll give you a good example. I met a guy at an event 2 days ago. And it's quite funny because I was being so autistic and I was being so myself that he just naturally liked me. He was like, yo, this guy's so chill. But then he went on my account yesterday and he watched a bunch of my content. He messaged me being like, yo, bro, put me on. I didn't realize you were doing so well. I was like, I'm not doing well. But more so, he was like, this dude I met, he's so chill. He's no better than me. How am I not? Yo. And he had the association of like, yo, we're on the same page. We're the same. And because of that, he had more conviction. I'm actually meeting him tomorrow because he lives near where I live. But that's the coolest thing ever. It's a bit of a side quest story for me to say, but I had the same thing when I was starting out. I would meet people, they'd be mad chill, only for me to go and realize, yo, they're actually doing quite well. And I'm like, yo, that's insane. My boy just met a guy today, like at brunch with me, Jacob, who's doing 30 a month. I was like, what did you think? He was like, it's so cool how you can just crack jokes with him. And then only after I told him that Jacob's actually doing quite well. And he was like, that's crazy. Because now in his mind, Jacob is here and he is here. Environmental growth. When you start to realize that the people around you that are doing quite well are no better than you, that's when you start to realize you can do better too. And as a byproduct of the environmental growth comes, sorry, somebody just joined. Christian Constantino. Self-conviction. Because you start to realize, yo, I can. So what I urge you guys to do, figure this out on your own. I can't help you. It's different for everybody. Figure out how you can start to like have more self-conviction. If it's with women, it's probably going to be girls looking at you or girls approaching you or you going and talking to a girl that works. If it's business, it's probably going to be better months or better growth or better stats or better data. If it's skill set, it's probably going to be more seamless conversations. But if you don't look for the more seamless conversation or like the bits in between or comparing old role plays, then how are you going to get that self-conviction? You have no reference points. I don't know if that's like digestible, but more so in a sense of, okay, I'm seeing you nod your head. Thank you. It needs to, if you don't look for it, you're not going to find it. So how can you be the setter who goes from 10 or even 5 to 20 or 30 with closing if you don't truly know you're the man or you're becoming the man? Look at Christian Constantino's journey, man. He started as a copywriter. And now he's doing pretty freaking good. His first month as a copywriter, when he started working with me, I told him I'm happy to hire you and give you a chance because he was boys with Seb as well. So I had good connotation to him. I said, but you have to come to Marbella. So he actually spent more than I paid him initially for the first month on flights and travel and food and all that stuff. He lost money. Now he's at a point where he knows he deserves far more, which is why also he's outworking a lot of you. Yeah, you could say he's in a different vehicle. But because he knows he's destined for more, he wants to make up for it. But if you have the mentality of, am I enough? you sit more in that state of ponder and doubt than you do actually trying to become more. I'm not 100% sure on how to make it applicable for setting as of now, but if you really want to progress, you need to believe you're progressing. And you need to believe that you are worthy of being more, I think is a good way to explain it. Imagine being in a relationship where you are continuously doubting if you're enough for that individual. It's not going to be a progressive one. Where if you know you are enough and you're good, but you want to get better, they will naturally, as a byproduct of you getting better, get better, and now you're progressing the relationship. So I'm going to give you this amazing study. It's super vague, and I wish I knew it better. They looked at two groups of people. I heard this a while back, hence why it's quite sloppy. I think it was done over the span of 30 years. Long study. And it was essentially people who have goals versus people who don't. The people who had goals ended up accomplishing and having more fulfillment in their lives, doing far more. I don't know what the percentage of people that hit their goals was, but it was a good amount. Maybe 30%, whatever it was. The people who didn't have any goals, didn't live fulfilled lives, and didn't do that much. A lot of them stayed in their hometown. Not to call you out if you're in your hometown. This is a study done over 30 years, right? Like they ended up obviously staying in their hometown for a long period of time. More so, let me refer back. If you are not swimming towards something, you are just trying to stay afloat. You need to know what you're going towards and like have these check-ins throughout the journey if you can, and reference points to understand you're getting better. And they'll come to you too. Don't expect, I'm not saying go and compare all your role plays to your old ones so you can feel better about yourself. I'm saying like let yourself enjoy that growth and let yourself be honest and say, yo, I am getting better. Because that's something I quite struggle at right now too, to be honest with you guys. Looking at myself and saying, hey, I'm actually progressing. I have these random epiphanies of like gratitude where I'm like, yeah, like I'm doing good. But the difference is my mentality is I know I deserve so much more than what we have right now. There were obviously other circumstances like traveling that was getting in the way, but now I understand, okay, well, I want to settle down. People are like, oh yeah, like congrats. I'm like, on what? We deserve so much more. But that's what I urge you to find. What's the discrepancy between you and you then? If I talk to one of you and I say, how much do you want to make? And you're like, 5K. And I'm like, why aren't you there? And you're like, oh, this and this and this. There's a problem. Like you should be saying, oh man, like that's the thing. I'm trying to figure it out. Because then, as I say, you're trying to do as much as you physically can. You're trying to start controlling the uncontrollables. And then you're starting to use your business brain. And that's going to lead to a lot of progression either way. Even if it is like, let's say, an offer issue or a skill set issue, you fix it far faster than the guy who just has the reasons and the excuses and this and that. Does that make sense? If that all makes sense to all of you guys, say back exactly what I just said. Kai, Ritha.
I mean, I would say it makes sense. Yeah, just a little bit.
You basically just said you can.
If you believe you can, then you can.
There we go.
How do you make yourself believe you can?
By surrounding yourself. Sorry.
No, you go first, but you were talking first. You go first.
No, you bro.
All right. So I feel like you're sort of saying in a sense where it's like you need to have something that you're moving towards and like actually be like aware of that shit. Because if you're just saying like, oh yeah, I want to hit this, you're not, really moving towards it. You're kind of just like having your mind, but you're not actively moving towards it. You don't have that subconsciously, so it's just like there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you meant, but
it doesn't matter. However I explained and however you picked it up, if it makes sense for you, it's now a thing you believe. It's I wouldn't say it's an ascending belief, right? So now it helps you break that maybe block you lived in, and now it makes you believe you can do more. And as a byproduct, it is like the truth to you. And if it's the truth to you, not to get super hippy dippy, believing what I just said will make you more money, basically.
I mean, shit, I'm not complaining.
Beautiful. I think you guys are all going to go and find your own ways on how to do it. But I went to my Matt Valor thing, if you went on that systems call that I did, and I was actually just simmering through it, and I actually realized I've already accomplished a couple of the goals on it. So a lot of them, to be fair, are my 3-month. It would make sense too. But I went through it and I was like, okay, this one's done, this one's done, this one's done. I was like, yo, look at me, I'm locked in. And then I start to realize, oh, like I'm actually like becoming the man, and I'm getting to that next version. And I guess a good way to every bumblecart nowadays talks about frequency, but it refers back essentially, if you want to, in the easiest way possible, say the 2.0 version of you. How do I become a better version of myself right now? So, for example, for me, yeah, let me even reverse engineer myself. 8 a.m. days. What else am I flawed at? Easy decisions. ED. Oh, no, don't take that the wrong way. I'm chilling. I promise.
Eating disorder?
I was thinking erectile dysfunction. I was thinking erectile dysfunction. And I would have said, if you talked to me a month ago, I would have said making a big deal out of small things. You can ask Chris. I think I've gotten slightly better at that. What do you think, Chris? Should I put it down here?
I think you got better at it, yeah.
All right, I'll put it. I won't put it down then.
No, yeah, no, put it down. Oh no, yeah, don't then.
No, I'm thinking like, okay, and then. But even look at this. Okay, I'm a little bit sleep deprived, but for me to try reverse engineer what I would be doing if I was a better version of myself tells me, okay, this isn't a lot of thought I've given it, but if you sit there for 30 minutes and you can find a bunch of flaws, beautiful. If you sit there for 30 minutes and you're struggling to it, you're probably on a pretty good freaking path. But let's take this. Not say eating, not say erectile dysfunction, but let's say, and I would say time wasting, and that is just a direct byproduct of the 8 a.m. So, yo, guess what? Guess what I started doing the other freaking day? 8 a.m.s, baby. I fixed it. I logged in. I actually have removed this old limiting belief, and you guys actually don't realize you're in a better position now than I was a year ago. When I started online stuff again, I didn't just have limiting beliefs. I had limiting beliefs I planted from misguided mentors for 3 years. The dudes me and Kai were learning for crypto, that were going and balling out and spending stupid money on random things, implanted beliefs in our minds at a young, ripe age that we had to go and reinstall. The idea that you can make very easy screw you money from crypto by being a schemer naturally made our work ethic lower. So when I got back into the game, same thing with Kai, I'm sure. You had to rewire your brain and your understanding of money. So it's like, no, it wasn't just limiting beliefs. It was like hooked belief.
You have to rewire your entire brain, didn't you?
And your dopamine system and everything. So it's like you had to re-go through the trenches. So it was a very different game. But as a byproduct of my crypto phase, I had developed, at least this is the way I see it, if we want to refer to trauma, this negative connotation to like going to sleep early. Because I always felt like, Kai, remember when you go to sleep at 3 a.m. and you miss out on 50 grand or some BS
Bro,
like that?
literally.
Bomber is the craziest thing in the world. You go to sleep in the middle of the night, all of a sudden you wake up, you missed out on generational wealth. Or,
Okay, Bears, bro. I lost like 12 grand on that overnight.
bro, don't even play with me. Okay, Bears, I sold for like 15, and I was like, yo, this is fire. If I sold 3 days later, I would have made 200K.
Oh, bro. It's light. It's light.
So what does that do to a 15-year-old's mind? It doesn't want you to go to sleep. And as you carry that habit into other things like school and you start to underperform, you can imagine that became a very negative belief. So when I look back at this year, I look back and I say, okay, we grew the business. I look back and I say, I was so fortunate to meet Christian Constantino. I look back and I say, like, all these things are great, but more so I have grown my own mind in a sense of like, I've gotten rid of that negative connotation of sleep because now I understand. And you could say there and say, oh, just sit down for 30 minutes and rationalize why it's a bad thing and fix it. Yeah, try to live through it. I spoke to Neuroknowledge in person the other day. Yeah, I know. I'm basically Neuroknowledge now, right? But I said, I'm so sneaky. I quoted what he said in a group call 9 months ago, and I said, in my mind, meditation is the process of letting your thoughts run their course. Same thing he said, by the way. I know I was such a ski brat. Some smirk when I said it. I said, meditation is the process of letting your thoughts run their course, and after doing so, you sit there long enough to rationalize it, and then you can come to terms with whatever it may be. What do you think about that? I pretty much told him what he says in a simpler way. But like I actually said how I said. I said, I know you say just like switch it up and it happens. But for me, I can't just do it. I need to sit there and rationalize it, and then I can come to terms with it. And that takes time. It can't be 30 minutes. It can't be 5 hours. It can't be 5 weeks. It just depends. And he said, that's perfect. And I said, why did people overcomplicate it so much? He said, complexity is sexy. So basically, he knows he has a very complex solution for something. But I will say, as a side note, if you've been dealing with a problem for 8 years, like I've been dealing with the 8 a.m. thing for a couple of years, if I got on a call with Nero, paid him $50K, and he said, you just believe it to be true, so it's true, so fix it. I'm not just going to fix it. It's going to make me try to figure out why I believe it and then understand it, rationalize it, and so on. And that could take me months. But you can't have a breakthrough moment off of a random epiphany moment. You have a breakthrough moment through multiple epiphany moments, reference boys, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense. Same thing with the girl thing, right? The greatest example is a low self-esteem. Oh, one girl talked to me, doesn't mean anything. No, 5 girls talked to me. Oh, okay. So reference points. And it goes back to the self-conviction thing too. But for me, to reverse engineer my 2.0 version now is the 8 a.m.s. Guess what? I'm already freaking doing it. It's the easy decisions. And I think this is the biggest freaking thing. I realized what got me to this point was a lot of shortcuts. And you may not think that. But I realized a lot of the time I could have made a very difficult decision or an easier decision and taken a shortcut. I took the shortcut. But what you will learn a lot as a 19-year life coach who's about to turn 20 in 6 days is there's no shortcut. If you take an easy decision, it will just come back and be lower quality effort, lower quality product, or you won't get what it is you really, really wanted because guess what? You did like 30% of the effort. So now when I wake up, and I've actually like changed my mind to have this requirement, it's so sick because I care enough about it. So I've just adapted it. Same thing, like I use the reference point of my mom. If you care enough about your mom's birthday, you won't forget it. And if you do, you'll make up for it. So when I wake up, I just think, okay, so I could go to the gym or I could go get breakfast. What do I want to do? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to go get breakfast. That's the easy thing. Let me just go to the gym first. Even if I don't want to, I just do it. And I'm going to use this example as well because I think this is actually really cool. It's one of my favorite autism things. Alex Hormozi talks about the easiest way to get into a flow state is just work. Because 5 minutes into working, you're now in a flow state of work. If you sit there and procrastinate for an hour and twiddle your fingers, you're not in a flow state. You're just procrastinating. You will never regret a hard day work either. And I realized this business stuff for me isn't very, very, very difficult per se. Like it won't be for you guys. Everybody in here is so freaking competent. You guys are more competent than some of our B2B clients, to be honest with you. Most of our B2B clients. It's really bad. But what I'm trying to say is you guys are going to have no problem when you pivot into bigger vehicles. But the easier decision thing is a trap. If I told you you could have everything you ever wanted and you would have to put in 40% effort, why would you put in 80? Why would you choose to live a more difficult life? Well, you're going to live a more difficult one either way. You just want to choose if you go to sleep with a smile on your face saying, yo, I earned my shower. And I freaking do. And I had this epiphany recently. So I realized if I was a better version of myself, I'd wake up at 8 a.m. And I would actually like have proper structure to my day and routine, which I struggled with for a long time. And I can make the excuse of it, oh, I had this, like I hate routine and whatever. But yeah, when you travel so much, that goes away rather quick and all you want is routine. So that's fixed. The easy decisions is something I'm consciously doing now. Now I'm making the harder decisions. And then TW. What did I even mean when I wrote TW?
You said time wasting.
Time wasting. Oh, yes, that's right. I appreciate it. Which is a byproduct of the 8 a.m. So I was like, okay, well, if I just fix my sleep, a lot of my other problems get fixed as well. If I told you that when you become very successful, not if, but when you guys become very successful, your biggest flaws will become so accentuated that everybody will see it. Would you be afraid right now? And if yes, then fix them and figure them out. That's a good freaking quote, huh? So yeah, I reverse engineered and I figured out, well, what is it I need to fix? And I was like, I can fix that like this right now. Why haven't I? Who cares? Let me fix them. Now I'll probably get to another point rather soon where I find more because I had this conversation with a friend of mine who's doing very, very well. Outlier. this guy's cracked. He's only 20. He's making a lot of money. And he said, do you feel like when you fix all your flaws, there'll be anything else to fix? Or do you think you'll just be in like a state of bliss? And I was like, nah, there's always more to fix. There's always more to fix. Because then you start like micro pinpointing random things. I don't even know. Or like, I think everybody knows what I mean when it's like you start looking at the most stupid things ever. I don't know if any of you guys have like random body dysmorphia, for example, but it's you might be looking at the most random small thing, stretch mark, whatever it is, all of a sudden it's a big deal. Kind of the same thing with this stuff in my mind. But more so, when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm not thinking. Also, look, like, keep in mind, if this is the 2.0 me, and this is all I need to fix, then if you ask me how much do you think I should be making, I'm gonna tell you like, yo, $250,000 a month, or like $500,000 a month. Because if these are my biggest problems and they're personal problems, you better know I'm good at business. Because if I wasn't, I'd give you 30 different reasons. But I know damn well when I reverse engineer this stuff, I deserve to be far better in other aspects of my life. And this is the thing holding it back. So when I just fix this, everything else will grow too. You guys don't see the level of operation we operate at. It is filthy. Think about it even from like a content perspective. You know how brandable I am? I'm this 19-year-old autistic kid with blonde hair who's just like having a good time. Would you be surprised if you saw me randomly pop off on social media right now? Probably not. You're like, oh yeah, screw that guy. We have a good deck of cards. So what's the issue? This. And it's all being worked on. And that's the difference right now between you boys and getting to where you want to go. You may think, I need to get better at setting and then I'll make the money. No, you get better at setting, you'll make some more money. But if you want to make the money, this will be a direct representation of your business life. As in your personal life. If it depends on the quote you want to go and the angle you want to go, but yeah, you kind of get what I mean. If you talk to these higher level guys, a lot of mindset guys, a lot of guys I know doing 6 figures per month, dude, they are cracked out. And what I mean by that is, no, let me even say this first. The one thing I'll point out and say info guys do amazingly is their mental is iron sharp, man. Some of these guys, like, they have so much self-conviction. But the main thing I want you guys to take away from this call is you can choose to be, and this is the two options I want you to have, and either option's pretty good. You can choose to be the guy who's doing anywhere from 10K to 100K a month with info, which is the easy route. Or you can choose to be the guy who makes so much money with info, but then you pivot into any other business ever and you're chilling. Because you've actually learned real frickin' skills. And a lot of that goes back to your mentality. A lot of it goes back to your mentality. So you kind of get to choose the path. And I only give you two options. There's no being a bum. If you're in this group, you can't be a bum. You're either going to go make 10 to 100K a month, which I think is okay, Kai, or you can actually be smart. Not joking, Kai. I love you, Kai. Kai's the ladder. Kai's going to be upskis, and then he's going to give me a band.
Bro, I've been asking this guy for a band for years. He's the tightest fucker I've ever met.
Yeah, I've been asking for whitelist spots for spring breaks, bro.
Yeah, bro. I put you on back in the day and I don't get shit for it.
Yeah, Kai made me like 4 schmeckles at one point. Kai was the GOAT, man. Me and Kai were hustlers. I don't even think I was a moderator. I think Kai was a moderator. I was just chilling with him in a chat.
No, you moderated like some shit project, I remember.
Yeah.
Like you made nothing off of it.
One, the burrito one.
No, I was actually out there hustling. I was scamming.
Yeah, you cracked fraud, bro. You cracked fraud.
No, let's not talk about that. Let's move on. What else are you going to talk about, Val?
I'm also I'll say this as well real quick. Whatever beliefs you guys have about balance is BS. It's the best example I've ever seen of someone who is able to operate so well is Teddy Shufu frickin' Lee, boys. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing Chris nod his head. Chris, you want to explain it real quick?
Yeah, no, he's just genuinely. I've never seen somebody so busy and so happy at the same time. Like, it really does baffle me because I could not like. I tell myself all the time I can't do what Teddy does, which in itself is a limiting belief. But I have never seen somebody do it so well, where he's balancing one of the hardest universities in the world with one of the hardest courses, a girl who needs a lot of caring for, and like very good social lives. And fucking being a CEO with Val in his own business, being partnered with Val in a business, right? And running entire operations for, some of the biggest clients that you guys see on social media, right? Some of the biggest names. So somebody that has those four aspects, as well as also balancing God, which I don't know, to be fair, how well he does, but from when
He
I
does a
speak to
great
him,
job.
he does well. So, we always talk about balancing health, your relationships, and was it business? Teddy kind of taking that to another level with those five, in my opinion.
One of Teddy's core beliefs is when he was in the worst shape ever earlier this year, his personal life and his mental health wasn't as good. And when he got into better shape, everything else got really good. It's one of his core beliefs. And as a byproduct, now that he's getting healthier, everything else is getting better. So I ask you, figure out what your core values, or not core values, but more so core beliefs are, and challenge them. This is actually one of the coolest things I ever experienced. Someone's asking to join. How is this guy joining 42 minutes late? Well, this is one of the coolest things that ever happened to me. Was I was on a call with one of my mentors, and I said something, and he said, "You're just trying to sound smart." I said, "What do you mean?" I should have never asked him, "What do you mean?" Because he went and challenged my ideology. And I went and I backed myself, and I was smiling. And then he challenged it again. And 3 questions into challenging my ideologies, I was sat there with a little idiot with my Willie in my hand trying to figure out what I'm talking about. Because he made me realize I barely challenged my own ideologies, and I barely knew what I said I knew. I just knew how to say it in a fancy way where people would go, ooh, ah. But he made me realize I barely challenged myself. I just believed what I believed. And because I believe what I believe, even the bad beliefs just sat there and only did harm to me. And in the most voodoo, vague way possible, a mindset coach today would say to you, if a belief doesn't serve you, remove it. But I urge you to actually challenge that yourself. Ask yourself what beliefs you have and why you are where you are. And you can do some ChatGPT prompt. I'm sure you guys can come up with a smart way to do it. But after answering a bunch of those questions, you're going to realize, hold up, why do I have this belief? Is it like trauma ingrained? Okay, let me sit there with that trauma ingrained thought and try rationalize it and make sense of it. And in doing so, you'll realize the beliefs you have actually have no backing. The ideologies you have as a byproduct have no backing, so it's very easy to just change them. It's very easy to change them. I think the cool thing about this call and the calls I do, best coach in the freaking group by far, in my opinion, is you kind of get to grow with me. So as I strengthen my own ideologies on things and figure my own stuff out, you guys kind of see that and can apply it to yourselves too. But here's the thing. Right now, you're relying on me to grow for you to grow. I would never be in that position myself. I think that's so dangerous. I got misguided by mentors, bro. I'm also freaking 19. I can offer an amazing perspective. I'm pretty good at what I freaking do. But have perspectives. Challenge yourself. Challenge me. I challenge me more than you guys challenge me, bro. I'm starting to push myself in positions where I have friends that challenge me because I want to feel like an idiot so I can grow further. I went to multiple events in the last 2 weeks. The first one I was sat there with a smirk on my face, not taking notes. And now I've gotten so angry at myself because I've realized I was just being an idiot. I'm about to go rewatch 8 hours of material. If I just sat and took notes, I wouldn't have to sit there like a bum for 8 hours with my Willie in my hand, taking notes. But I do. And that's my fault, right? That's my problem. But guess what? All the other events, I was taking notes. The 16-year-old kid next to me saw me taking notes. He starts taking notes, and I'm just leading by example. But I'm going to leave you with one more really good quote, and then we can open up the floor for whatever. Yo, I feel like a presenter. Oh my gosh. I'm going to leave you with one more quote that I quite like is a conscious state of ego. Or sorry. I butchered the last quote. A conscious state of ignorance is a state of ego. If you are in a state, or if you are in a situation where you are not educated on something or you don't really know, and you don't force yourself to learn more about it, it is an egotistical thing to do. And I know your connotation of ego is oh yeah, but somebody's a scumbag, or they walk around with a smirk on their face, or why is Christian Constantine think he looks cool when he has short hair? When in reality, the longer hair looks better. I'm not joking. I'm joking. I think the short hair looks great on you. The connotation of ego is like kind of misinformed in my opinion. Ego does most harm to yourself. If I get on call with Kai, sorry to use you as an example, Kai, and I say, "What's your biggest problem?" He goes, "Man, I don't have any." I can't help him. He's only doing harm to himself. And it's the same thing. A conscious state of ignorance is a state of ego. If you are not educated or you don't know something about something and you don't get yourself to go learn more about it, it is an egotistical thing. And at the end of the day, it's only going to do you harm. So you can figure out how to apply that to yourself. But my situation was I was taking the easy decision. And now I'm going to take the hard. But you know how cool it is to be able to say I got to this point taking easy decisions in my life? Wait till I start doing the difficult things. What the heck is going to happen? I'm going to burn down my hometown. That's what's going to happen. Do not put yourself in a position where you are only guided by one person. I think perspectives are very valuable. So as much as I love you guys, and I'm sure you'll love me on the days I'm not too autistic, make sure you also have perspectives, man. There's so much stuff on YouTube nowadays too. Like, hey, I spoke to a guy a while back who was doing better than me and younger than me. Exactly. He was younger than me, he was doing better than me. And I challenged him on his ideologies and he was like, "Yo, you're right." So then I went and I had another conversation and I was now doing better than him and he challenged me and low-key kind of the same thing happened. Perspectives matter, bro. So like, pineapple hair Loki's better. That story about the actual perspective thing doesn't make full sense, I've just realized. But more so, give yourself mass perspectives on, you know, just don't be guided by one person. I made the mistake of being misguided by mentors growing up. You're all smart enough to know that, you know, like if you are being misguided to a degree, but you also only know what you know. Put yourself in a position where the worst case scenario possible is you just live a good life, basically. And that sounds like so vague, but I know I'm going to be okay. I have so much belief in myself where I'll always figure it out. I got offered a job a while back to make $200K a year. I didn't take it. Frick that. But to have societal value like that, where, you know, if things went south, you'd be able to make $250,000 a year, is like kind of cool. And all of you are far more than capable of getting yourselves to that point. And all of you know far more than I knew at the start of the year. I just had a slight bit more ego where I thought I could do more. And then I built the self-conviction. I just freaking did something with it. You're all in a far better position than I was at the beginning of the year. So do with that information what you will. A conscious state of ignorance is a state of ego. Usually the main reason you're holding yourself back is ego. Like, bro, I'm making myself listen to a podcast a week, read every day, 3 vlog breakdowns a week as well, and 3 business videos. Is it going to benefit me to go watch a business video? No, but once in a while when I go, maybe. Actually, yeah, that was ego. But yeah, when I watch one of the 3 and I get some really, really good sauce and I apply it to the business, I might just be like, yo, that was gas. And then the micro wins also add up. When I'm doing the vlog breakdowns, I'm educating myself and then I can go regurgitate and educate my team on it too. I'm also progressing. When I go and listen to a podcast and I learn a new fun fact, I'd also say I'm progressing. The reading thing also makes me realize I'm progressing. And as I do so, I don't turn away from growth or like egotistical growth, because I went through a period where I didn't absorb any new information for months, like 3 months. I didn't listen to podcasts, watch videos or anything. And I was like, oh, I'm too locked in working. Yeah, bro. One of my buddies who's doing $250,000 a month at 20 right now. He works 5 hours a day, and I think 3 of those hours he's just learning. He's just learning. You know how crazy that is to say? The most valuable thing you can do is just expand your brain. Obviously, he's in a different vehicle to you guys, as is he to me. I actually got to do work, it seems. You kind of get what I mean. I do it personally because I want to make sure I don't fall into an egotistical state of like not wanting to learn. So I just make myself learn more and more. And I just learn to enjoy it. But this works for me. I've just figured out myself so far to this point. You got to do it yourselves, but let yourselves also think about it. What got you from A to B were these great epiphany moments you had in your life to maybe date the girl you're dating, or maybe start the business you're running, or maybe do that sport you love, or whatever it is. Those were the greatest things you've ever done. But for some reason, when you got into this vehicle, or when you started doing university or whatever it is, you just started to distract yourself with all this work, and now you can't even get from B to C because you stopped doing A to B, which was the brain bit. Let your brain think, because it's the most powerful thing you have. I can sit there with any problem in my business and figure it out within like 20 minutes if I just actually apply myself. So if I have a midlife crisis going on, okay, I'll give you this great example. I shipped off a suitcase from Tokyo to Ireland, and I was gonna bring it with me. It was like $500. I was like, I'm not paying $500. I'm gonna just ship it off. And I was like, yo, can you ship it off for me to one of my boys because I had to leave early? And he shipped it off for me. He ended up paying $700, which was a scam. And then I also got hit with 250 from customs, and then customs also stole everything out of the suitcase, basically, like everything I bought. So I lost $1,000. I kind of got scammed. I got to buy new Christmas presents, and I could sit there and crash out like my parents did, or I could sit there and say, hey, like I know someone who just got cancer recently. I know this person who just got their phone stolen, and I rationalized. And it took me a couple minutes of just sat there. Yeah, it's a bad feeling. It sucks. But what you do and what you say determines the growth you've endured. So rationalize. If I can fix any problem in my business within like 20, 30 minutes, if I sit there and think, and I can get through this whole suitcase BS situation if I just sat there for a few minutes in silence and thinking, yo, at least I didn't have this or that. Like, you're on a good path. So start training your brain to get to that point, I think. Because the question, if somebody just said that to me, I would say, is the grass greener on the other side? Is it better to have that? I actually think it is. I think it's a good mentality to adopt. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite calls I've done in a minute. And I am sleep deprived. I pulled this out of my back pocket like it's nothing. Yo, sleep deprived Val got wisdom, bro. My little brother's probably in the room next to me thinking, yo, like this major ponderer. What happened to him in the last 4 months? But yeah, let's open up the door, and then we could go watch a movie while I eat Ben and Jerry's. Let's do it. What are we thinking, Master Uruguay? Kyle's thinking like, yo, this guy's the man, because I know Kyle's into the philosophy stuff as well. Yeah, he's thinking like, yo, this is gas. Yo, who wants a neuro speech? Zane, you were 45 minutes late, bro. I'm mad disappointed. Hit me up though. Let's do a 1-on-1. I love you. I want to make sure you're good.
I've not heard bro's name in a minute.
Yeah,
Oh my day.
Bumba
That's crazy.
Ross. Yo, I'm about to drop some sauce. Hold on. Let me scheme a link. But don't be saying you got this from me, because I'm gonna get in mad trouble. I've got a good reputation in this space. I'm not trying to ruin it. If one of you ruin it, I'm gonna kill you. But actually, low-key, it might be a public link. Yeah. Okay, bet. Check this out. Schemey Val on the way. So Nero's speech, he's his mastermind. I know some of you be messing with Nero heavy. Kyle, I don't know if you know or mess with Nero. Watch that, dude. That is such a good recording. I was there in person. I don't know if you can hear my voice in the background, but I just pinned it. I strongly suggest you guys watch that. See, like, also don't just watch and think, oh yeah, this is now my new truth. Like, challenge it and develop your own ideologies too. The whole point is you believe your ideology is enough where they become your truth. Don't just like, yeah, this is the man. This is the man. I truly believe what he's saying, because I know Chris has a bit of like resentment through Nero too. I'm not
I was
preaching,
about to say, like, I don't know. I don't agree with what Nero preaches, most of it.
but listening to Nero's, as you said, most of it. But the other bit helped you strengthen your ideology. Glass half full, my man. Yeah, absorb and have your own opinion. It's good to be opinionated.
Mm.
Yeah. Kudos. to
Extracting the
Chris.
value that can be applied to you in your life. That's how I like to watch this shit.
Exactly. So you might walk away from this call and think, yo, like, I was like actually good at some of this, but he's kind of an idiot with that like example about this. Yo, run it. Strengthen your own ideologies. Challenge me. I'm down for it. But also, like, you're just gonna exist within your own beliefs. So figure out what your beliefs are. Don't just apply everything I say, and especially because I might say something and it might make sense, but you may not know it to the like level I do. And then you obviously go and learn from other people and just like put everything together and figure out what you believe. That's what I'm saying. Don't just be relying on one person. It's like when somebody says a story and then you just take the story and you start quoting it, but you don't even know the story. It's like, what if the story was about murder and you're talking about at a wedding, right? You need actual context. But this is one of them ones where I'm getting ready to get my Ben and Jerry's or a hot chocolate. Oh, who's been ripping hot chocolate because it's Christmas now?
No, the coffee got to be blacker than me. So we preference.
Nah, it's not
Oh, no.
coffee. It's hot chocolate or marshmallows, bro.
Nigga, fuck
No.
hot chocolate. Nigga, fuck that.
I've been ripping hot chocolates, but they don't give me marshmallows. It's such scum. I've had like 3 or 4 in the last few days. But like soon I reckon I'm gonna get to the 6, 7. What you guys know about 6, 7, man?
Please no. Genuinely, I actually like it makes me want to kill myself.
It's like the
No.
dab. You know how cool the dab was back in the day.
Shout out to Paul Pogba, man. If you know, you know.
Bro, no, this just reminds me of what's 9 plus 10. It reminds me of that. Like that's what I see as like kids doing it
I don't
now.
think so. I don't think so.
No,
I'm
that's what
gonna
I'm
check
saying.
on the ideology.
I'm saying.
Think about the dab is more of an emote, like 6, 7 is more of an emote. 9 plus 10 is a meme or like a vocal meme. It's not technically an emote. What
No,
was
I
the,
think it's a combination of both.
Constantine, what was the dab for you in its prime?
Huh?
Did you dab in its prime?
Yeah, mate. 20
Exactly. I bet you
all
loved
over
it. I bet you loved it.
Yeah, of course. That combined with the waterball flips, man. That was
There,
nice.
there you go. That was your emote. Now they got their own emote, and you're hating on an emote.
I am because it's just not for me. It's not for me.
Do you think people looked at you dabbing on the streets, thinking, "Yo, like screw this all, dude"?
Okay, but I don't think people my age were doing it. Surely not. I don't think people my age were doing the dab at that point. Or like you don't see it on TV fucking making jokes about it.
I'm sorry. Did you hit the dab 6 months later or something?
What?
What do you
mean?
know?
Like, yo.
People your age
Not
weren't
right.
hitting the dab. Everybody was hitting the dab.
No, like my age now back then. I don't think like 20-year-olds were doing
What
it.
about the whip nene? You ever hit the whip?
Yeah, they were.
Of
What
course.
about the
All football was doing it.
Fell on the dance?
what about that one that's in Fortnite, yo?
The stanky leg. No, that one. Was
No,
that
that
one,
one that's in Fortnite, like 2018.
yeah, mate. Got orange justice.
Fortnite,
all over.
Yeah, the Orange Justice.
Yo, low key, who's trying to rip Fortnite tomorrow night? I'm gonna smoke all of you.
Bro, I've been ripping it with Seb, Loki.
I can't crank 90s,
I
man.
asked you to hop on with me and you were
You
traveling.
got the crank 90s.
Let me lock in. Let me write on my calendar.
So shit at Fortnite.
Who's trying to play till midnight tomorrow? I'm playing my brother's room like there's no. Yo, you're all invited.
Tomorrow.
Okay?
I'm out tomorrow.
What are you doing?
I'm seeing my friends for the first time. Oh, do you know what's cool though? Look, you know, if you connect, you can basically Xbox has a thing online now where my Xbox is at my dad's house, so I just took my controller and I play on my Mac. It's exactly the same thing, guys. Trust
Are you
me.
for real?
Yeah.
Didn't have this.
You can play on the Mac.
Didn't have
I'm gonna
this.
text your dad to turn off the Xbox, man.
Okay.
Does he let you play after midnight?
I actually haven't seen my dad in about a month.
Let's go. Let's
goes
go,
bad.
man. Yo, that's passive income.
My
It's
God.
not. No, that's fire. 175 schmeckles. What are you gonna do with all your money, bro?
Bro, we are running on our offer. Last month we agreed with the earnings. We'll do something like charity on our own.
That's
I
fire.
still haven't done it, but I'm planning on 25th to like pick organization or something and go.
I lost $1,000 on the suitcase thing. If you want to contribute, and like more on the gifts.
Bro, you're alive and you're in good shape. Like you're healthy. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
Preach,
man. $1,000
preach.
down. So if you want to contribute, bro, I'm a charity. I'll take it.
Bro, fuck off with those 90 Fuck off.
I respect it, bro. If you don't ask, you don't get. Yo, Chris, can I have a band?
Yeah, take out my paycheck, pal.
Bro, Kai, now's the time to ask Val again.
Oh no, he'll never give me a band.
Kai, can I-
We're
You
too
gotta-
far
you
gone.
gotta
now.
Cuban pesos.
You
I
know,
don't
you
think
know,
you give you like free bands.
I'd be hitting me up on Snapchat like there's no tomorrow.
Bro, last time I hit you up was like a week ago.
You should see what this guy sends me. Look at this Heinz calendar.
When did I send you that?
Like a week ago. Or this.
Damn.
The Rizzler.
Rizzler my fucking ass.
Oh yeah.
How do you guys find this call?
I mean, it was good. I mean, I missed a good chunk of it because I was on a closing call for like 2 fucking hours, so I was kind of cooked. But
How'd the closing call go? Did you close?
Yeah, you never let it get past an hour and 15, Toby. I'll be real.
yeah,
That's-
nah.
You've lost it in 2 hours.
I
Uh,
rescheduled it for tomorrow though. I've like followed it up for tomorrow, but low key he's just like, oh yeah, I don't want to spend my money. But he has the savings. I just need to figure out how to, convince him, I guess. Not convince, but show him that, this is the way to move forward. If anything.
Toby's a manipulator, basically.
Val, do you remember when I spent 2.5 hours with somebody and didn't close them? And I was getting one of the shittiest feelings I've had in my life. I would not recommend like wasting your energy and an effort. Just like call them out right. Call them out. And then, some people don't want to be helped. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
So just kind of see how that goes.
When I was 15 working in a marketing agency, I was on a call for 2.5 hours. I ended up closing the dude. I made like $80 on the deal. And he just kept talking about his personal life. And I was like, yeah. That was one of them days where it was sunny in Ireland. And I was on back-to-back sales calls, all no close, by the way, all also cold outbound. So you guys think you were in the trenches? I was on LinkedIn cold outbound. I didn't even know what setting was. LinkedIn cold outbound setting, booking in the sales calls, 80% no-show rate. The 20% that would show would be disqualified because I was not good at it. And then one dude bought. He was mad, show.
Wait, Val, this was back in the agency days?
Yes, sir.
Nice, bro. Nice.
Yes, sir. But I had to listen to his personal life for like 2.5 hours. So essentially, I was getting paid like 25 schmeckles an hour. But except don't look at like, the other freaking 80 hours on sales calls that didn't contribute to schmeckles.
Yep.
Because that's the skill set bit, right? Do you guys think you were in the trenches? Oh my gosh. You guys don't even know me and Kai's HUD, man. We were sat there, Magic Eden, refresh.
You're acting like we had it bad, Val. We were fucking on our laptops.
No, but it was fun. It was fun.
No, yeah, 100%.
Oh, man, that's some shit, bro. Chill.
That was good.
We should run it back.
Hop on Magic Eden. Do you remember that period for the week where you could mint anything and you double it?
Oh yeah, that was insane.
So this week of my life.
It happens a few times as well, though, like a couple times a year.
Yeah, that was great. NFTs are on a downturn now, though.
Those are still a thing?
Sorry?
I didn't even know they were still a thing. I thought they died out like 2 years ago.
You can still buy them. You're just not gonna make any money.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh.
Val, do you remember Retro Wolves?
Yeah.
17 whitelists.
Yeah, you were such a Jew.
And you were begging me. I gave you like 5 at the end, didn't I?
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
you weren't happy with it. You were still fucking begging me.
I made like 4 bands. I was so happy. That was a great day. That was like months. No, that was like weeks of preparation and hoping it went well.
Yeah.
That was a full-time job in itself, though.
Oh,
Me begging you for whitelist spots was a job. For context, Kai screwed over a whole team he ran with to make money.
I screwed over a whole ecosystem if you think about it. Well, not me, but the team that I screwed over.
Insider trading, essentially. Me and Kai were running it together because he was a moderator. And I was friends with the moderator.
Yikes.
Yeah. Basically, if we were white women and 20 years older, we'd get screwed for insider trading. But we didn't. No, I mean, believe it or not, like, the point you guys are at, the relationships you're building, the trips you're going on, the random dudes you be meeting in here, like, you're gonna look back and be like, yo, that was my journey and that was super sick. Even if you decide you don't want to do setting after you make some money with it and you go into something else, like, the stuff you learn here is actually gonna be so applicable, bro. Ask Evan, bro. Ask Evan, because he'd still be joining these calls even though he's locked in on something else. A lot of the stuff you learn here are like core fundamentals, and that's always what I wanted to be about. How can you guys walk away and just have the competency to go build a business and make whatever it is you want to build? Live a life you actually want to live. I actually have a really cool quote on my autism tracker. Let me show you. It's at the top there. You want your average Tuesday to look like most of your life. I stand by it. I think if you really hate what you do on a continuous basis, then you really got to push for that change. But also know what you're pushing for. So, yo.
Today be Tuesday.
I need to start doing TED Talks or something, bro. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody want to say anything about all of that, or should we all smile and nod and be like, "Wow, how's it go?"
Smaller wave type shit, like in the
I need you guys to challenge me. Don't just be thinking like, "Yo, you're right." Maybe I'm not. Maybe I want to be proved wrong.
This is a cool question, but what beliefs do you have right now that you will look back 5 years later and cringe at? What do you think, or do you think you will not even find them?
Oh, he'll definitely find them.
No, I'll definitely find them. Do I have any beliefs I think are cringe right now? Okay, so I was explaining this to someone today or yesterday about if you say you have a limiting belief, that is the most stupid thing in the world, because if you consciously know a belief that is holding you back, then it just goes back to a conscious state of ignorance, as a state of ego. It's just ego. It's not a limiting belief. Oh, I have this limiting belief that's holding me back. Bumba Russ, you are just being egotistical. If you sit there and challenge yourself, you figure it out. So if I were to say cringy, sorry, that was non-binary, like the way I answer that. But if I was to say like a cringy belief I have now that I think I'll look back and say that was stupid, I don't think I actively have any. Because I would even like compare that to like limiting beliefs and then say, well, if I have a limiting belief, then it doesn't make sense. I think the sleep thing. But then recently I spoke to someone who's worth a disgusting amount of money. I'll see you later, bro. Have a good night. Fix your sleep. Sure, it's my fault, but I spoke to someone recently who makes a disgusting amount of money, and he told me he's never had a sleep schedule. I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Have a good night. So even then, I might just look back and say, oh, yeah, but I kind of had to enjoy the sleep schedule. I don't know. I don't think I have any. What about you?
This call was, I guess, very divinely calling me out because of the whole belief in myself and conviction, because I have a very inconsistent way of thinking and approaching life. Like I'll be full throttle and then go back to bad habits and then realize that that's bullshit, full throttle, then back to bad habits. And I really don't want to keep going back. So I just need new things to enter my mind to keep me from falling back.
Why do you fall back?
Why do I fall back? I just allow it to happen.
Why do you
I allow it? Why do I allow it to happen? Complacency. And I'm not okay with complacency. But those times I'm just like, well, I'll fix it later. I always do, but then I always don't. If that's making any sense, just like
No,
a back and
it
forth.
does. It does. So for me, when I used to come home every couple months, I would actually have a pretty good diet. Come home, and I would say I'm not going to eat anything, and then I'd have one thing, and then I'd go back into horrible food habits that I used to have when I was younger. And I realized that all it was for me is that one little slip up. My boy is spamming me. This guy needs to log in. I hate when people spam me. Oh my gosh. But I realized for me, it's like I have this weird, I'm not even going to say mild, I have this weird tism where for me it's just this one thing. I shave every morning. That's not the one thing, but I shave every morning. I've been doing it for 6 months. I've actually met someone recently who does the same thing. I feel like if I can do the small stuff, I can do the big. So for me, it's the shaving. For me, it's making sure my eyebrows are cleared because I grow filthy unibrow if I don't shave. For me, it's making sure I clip my nails and stuff. All these little things, because then I can feel like I can control the big things. What someone called Warren Mulvey in this space, who runs a 7-figure per month offer, and also a sales training company thing, he says micro wins and micro losses is kind of what he refers to. So at least my ideology is, if I can do the small, I feel like I can control the big. But I know if I do one small, I will fall into a bunch of small. So one small sweet, one small thing, one small BS. That's kind of where it goes south. I can justify some things like the Ben and Jerry, because then I'll say, oh, I've been waiting for it for months or whatever, and I'm not going to really do it after. Right after that, I'm probably going to start 75 hard again tomorrow, just for the vibes. But I think trying to figure out why you do it is a really, really good starting point. And I know you say complacency, but that's not tangible. It's like it's super vague what do you mean by complacency? And then you say you hate it. So let's actually try to break it down real quick. If you're open, if you don't want to.
Yeah. I'm cool. I didn't expect to be the center of the attention, but it's fine. I'm down for the challenge.
I mean, we're on the same boat.
Yeah. Why? I think I can't give you a very confident, direct, definite answer because I haven't dug deep into this exact topic. But if I were to guess, I work on something, and then my brain gets shiny object syndrome, and I think this is a more priority than that. So I put all my focus on that, and I let that one slide because that one's not as important as this. That's a little quirk I've noticed,
Okay.
but have not paid too much attention to figure out how to incorporate it all because I'm like, I need to get this priority figured out. I need to put all my focus on this. This is too important. I'll let this slide, even though this was the priority like 6 months ago. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
I get what you mean. I think that's just one of those things you have earlier as well when you're just trying to figure out that one thing that you do well with. I think it's definitely worth, and I will say one of my bigger flaws is if there's a hole in my boat, I essentially spend too much time trying to figure out the hole. So instead of just like fixing the hole and going away. So I will say take this with a grain of salt, but maybe give it more thought and try like figure it out. I like at least see why you think you do it. Because if I told you every 5 days I would sleep an extra 6 hours or something like that, you'd be like, yo, that's crazy. It's like an outlier. Try to figure out why it exists. I would look at it and I'm like, hold on. Or if I told you like, yo, if you told me like, yo, your girl will disappear every Wednesday, I'm like, yo, why does she randomly disappear? A really weird example. But same thing here. It's like if you randomly lose that focus every 10 days, take a look at it. Try and understand it. And then, okay, once you get a bit of context, you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Adam loves these calls, bro.
Huh? No, you know what? I was literally just watching Aiden. Why is he drinking so much orange juice? He keeps reaching backwards for more orange juice.
But no, I would give it some thought. I low-key try, see what you come up with. I'd be intrigued to see what you come up with. Yeah.
Cool.
The shiny objects, that makes sense though. Like a lot of people enjoy that for sure.
Oh
I've
yeah,
had-
that. Yeah.
But also, okay, so this is actually quite cool. Fun fact. There's I don't know if you guys know the lore behind the sleep on it thing. It's supposedly been said for like hundreds of years, and what actually tends to happen is if you have problems in your life and you go to sleep, your brain will essentially try to rationalize while you sleep. So your brain will work while you sleep and try to come up with answers. So when people say sleep on it, what you'll tend to have is if you're facing big issues in your life, you might just randomly wake up with an answer. And that's your brain working, according to Matthew Walker, who's a sleep scientist, one of the most profound sleep scientists in the world. Your brain tries to figure out problems. So what I'll say is if you do have a case of that, of the shiny object, say, hold on, let me sleep on it. And then you wake up and then just give yourself a few days to sleep on it and then rationalize. And then after, only after, sit and try and make an emotionally based decision, or sorry, a logically based decision and see what makes sense. I'll give you a good example. Did you ever go on a first date and you really like someone and you miss all the red flags? No. And you miss all the red flags and you only see them a week after, but you were like so overindulged at the beginning, or at least this is what I used to do, where you thought this person was perfect and this and this and that and that. Whereas you give it a bit more time, you're like, actually, not really.
Oh yeah.
But after,
The fire is up here, and then immediately it's like,
right? But 80% of the decisions we make are emotionally based. 20% are logical. So if you gave yourself that extra few days, and one of my black homies who put me on sauce when it came to women was, once you go on a date, wait 3 days after, see if you like him, and reevaluate. And when you do that, he's so smart, he didn't even realize when he said it. What he was actually talking about was Matthew Walker's thing about sleep on it. And also, at least the way I see it is you improve and you maximize the probability of it being a logically based decision than an emotionally based, because you give yourself the extra time. So next time you have that shiny object, maybe just wait a week and then make the decision. That's good, huh? They're thinking like, yo, some shady's on it. Isn't that so cool how one random thing you hear from a podcast, then another random thing you hear from a psychology book, and you take all these little pieces of information, all of a sudden you can make sense of things.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
definitely getting a grasp of your emotions rather than letting it take the wheel and make you do your decisions. You have to be like, hold up, I'm in a high emotional state right now. Let me sleep on it. I see what you're saying. Yeah, makes sense.
But that's
See
the
what
cool
you're
thing
saying.
as well. It's like when you have these reference points from different things you read or you learn or whatever it is, it's like you can build up a case and you can have that case fight for you as well. That's quite
Mhm.
cool. Yeah,
The brain is interesting.
exactly. It's so weird, bro.
It's complex.
Yeah. That was actually really fun. I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
What I
Thanks
feel
for
bad-
asking me.
Sorry?
Thanks for digging into my brain just a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to get high with you, pal. I think we'd have a good time.
Yeah, I agree.